Hello and welcome. I'd like to officially welcome you to use your head to stay healthy, happy, and productive so that you can get the results that you desire, My name is Sarah Denio, and I'm going to be your host for this little bit of time here. I teach really simple tools and practices to help people be able to release what's holding them back and align with the life that they desire. This may sound cheesy, I get it, but the fact is, stress often gets in the way of our ability to have what we want for life to look and feel like. So that's why I'm really grateful to be able to share some simple tools and resources to make it less complicated. Once you get a taste for how powerful you actually are in being able to release what's not serving you and align with what you do desire for life to look and feel like, there's no telling what you can create. So I'm really grateful that you've chosen to be here for this bit of time with me. This is why KindNest is here. I founded this business, KindNest, in 2018, a product of my own journey through all of this. I went to school. I have a couple of degrees in psychology. I had worked for not-for-profit organizations as well as Fortune 500 companies, traveling the world. And like most people, I needed an experience to literally almost force me to take a look at what wasn't working in my life. And I'll spare you all the details. You can see more on the KindNest website if you're interested. But essentially, in my journey, I lost several pregnancies, and my desire to figure out why the heck those pregnancies were ending nearly as quickly as they were starting led me to find some amazing information about what we are capable of as humans. And so, dare I say it, it was a journey of self-discovery, and that's why I'm here. That's why KindNest is now here, because once I realized how simple some of this really can be, I became pretty passionate about trying to share it with others, because we all have this natural innate ability within us, and I really want you to be able to kick this on within yourself. The thing is, what I learned, if I were to sum it up, is that I already possessed, we all already have exactly what we need in order to be able to create the life that we desire. We just need to know how to turn it on and what to do. So that's what I'm here to give you a little taste of today. The fact is, the inertia of daily life propels us days, weeks, months, years into the future without a concerted effort to make something different. And so we get to choose. Do we want to, if there's something that you want that's a little bit different, let today be the day that you start creating that for yourself. So that's what I'm here to do today, is give you a taste of how powerful you are, whether it's simply to feel better that you desire, or maybe you want more money or more connection or more peace or more success. Whatever it is, you have the power to create it, whatever it is that you desire, no matter your current state, truly. And you can easily take that first step today. So yes, I did say easily. So let's go ahead and get started with that. A lot of what I'm going to share with you today is so simple that you may think, how could any of this work? Could this possibly work? So we're actually going to start with a really brief exercise that will just give you a taste of that power of your mind. So we'll do that exercise together. Then I'm going to bring you into a little bit of the science at a really high level of what's happening when we experience stress, so that you can understand that mind-body connection and what's naturally occurring anyway, so that you can then shift into utilizing that to your advantage. We're going to do a breathing technique today together to invite calmness and clarity. We're going to spend a little bit of time where I'll guide you in a visualization that will actually activate the power of your mind. And we'll do a little bit of a review. So that's our agenda for the next 40 minutes or so. I'm looking forward to getting started with you, so let's go ahead and do this. I'd like to start with this exercise, like I said, just to give you a taste of the power of your mind. And I'm actually borrowing this from Tony Robbins, which is why you see him there on the screen. What I'd like you to do is stand up if you're sitting and put your feet so that they're facing forward. And I'd like you to raise a finger up so that you're pointing straight ahead. Once your finger is pointing up or pointing straight ahead, I'd like you to go ahead and turn around and turn as far as you comfortably can without hurting yourself. And just notice where your finger ends up pointing, just where you naturally land as you do that. So go ahead and do that now. Raising your finger up, just turning slowly and seeing how far you can turn, just noting where you naturally land, and then come back to facing forward. Okay, great. So now that you've done that, I'd like you to go ahead and actually close your mind. Did I say close your mind? Close your eyes. How do we close our minds? Close your eyes. And keeping your feet straight ahead. And while keeping your arm down this time, I want you to vividly imagine your finger coming up again. Don't actually lift your hand, but vividly imagine your finger coming up. Make it feel real. Feel it. See it in your mind. And see yourself turning twice as far. Let it be effortless, like you expect it, and it's fun. I know it seems simple. Okay, let's do that again. Just in your mind's eye, not actually lifting your hand. Bringing your arm up in your mind, see it, feel it. Turn twice as far, like you expect it's going to happen, and it's fun. Okay, one last time. Only this time, I'd like you to imagine that you're turning all the way around like an owl. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes. I'm going to have you go ahead and lift your arm again, pointing your finger out, and go ahead and turn. And just notice where you naturally land. You turned farther, didn't you? 80% of people will turn at least 25% farther. This is the power of your mind. We have beliefs that dictate absolutely everything we do and experience, even how far we can turn. This is the power of your mind. So utilizing this to our advantage is what I'm here to give you a taste of today. Sorry. Now that you see that power of your mind, let's talk a moment about what's actually going on when you did that. What's going on? And this is super important because a high level understanding of this science, of what's actually happening, combined with really simple tools or practices, actually puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. This foundational understanding of the mind-body connection is so pivotal. It's so simple, yet this puts you back in the driver's seat of your life because you can then use your awareness and these simple tools to easily influence how you feel, think, and therefore what you create and experience in your life on a moment's notice. The thing is, your thoughts and feelings create your reality. This is something that's been wired in since the beginning of time. We think something, and then we feel based on that thought, and then we feel that, and then we think about it. There's this ongoing loop, this cycle that's going on all the time. Thoughts, feelings, feelings, thoughts, thoughts, feelings, feelings, thoughts, back and forth. It's been wired in since the beginning of time. And this is great when the thoughts and the feelings are positive, right? This is wonderful. But the fact is, life can be really stressful. And that's just stressful on a regular basis, not to mention a pandemic and political and social unrest and family and work and all these other things that we have going on in our lives. Most of us truly are living in a perpetual state of stress, the implications of which are not great. The fact is, survival mode has pretty much become the norm. And I know that may sound extreme, but as I was just explaining, you're probably aware of this. We have so much going on where there's so many different stimuli in our lives. They're creating stress for us. And it results in us pretty much being in a perpetual state of stress. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. But we're walking around feeling like crap most of the time, like we're not enough or we're not doing enough. And there's always more to do. We're multitasking and feeling like there's never enough time or resources. Perhaps worst of all, this is literally changing the stress literally changes the expression of our DNA. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. It actually downregulates our genes, which causes disease. I know, aren't I just a big ray of sunshine today? Stick with me, because the good news is coming. You actually have the ability to change this moment to moment throughout your life. And that's what we're here today to get a little taste of. Remember, this high level understanding of the science and what's actually happening puts you back into the driver's seat of your life so that you can change this moment to moment in your life. So let's talk for a moment about what actually happens when you're stressed. It actually becomes really simple when you can understand what's happening physiologically speaking. The thing is, our bodies, believe it or not, are actually perfectly designed. That may sound crazy, right? Because we have disease, we have these things that we're experiencing. Like, my body doesn't feel great. The thing is, your body really is perfectly designed. When we perceive a threat, a cascade of hormones is immediately, in a flash of a second's time, sent out into your body so that you can either fight, flee, hide, whatever you need to do in order to deal with this imminent threat. Your body is naturally designed and does that on your behalf at a moment's notice, literally. This is excellent for dangerous situations, of course. We need this. We're not trying to get rid of this. No way. We need this. This is an important thing that's been wired in since the beginning of time. It's excellent for dangerous situations, but it's harmful for everyday life. During this time, when we have perceived some sort of a threat, when we're in that stress response, call it fight or flight, whatever you'd like to call it, we're in that stress response and we have those chemicals flooding through our system, all of our normal, natural systems are actually put on hold so that we have all of our energy, all of our resources can be sent out to our limbs so that we're ready to fight, flee, or hide. So things like digestion, tissue repair, the propagation of feel-good hormones, all of that is temporarily put on hold while we're in that stress response so that we can have those resources to be able to fight, flee, or hide from that imminent threat, from that stressful thing. This is exactly how animals work in the wild too. So a gazelle out grazing sees a lion, it is immediately flooded with hormones that give it that burst of speed to be able to get away from the lion. And once it's safely away, it goes back to grazing. And it's not thinking at all about that lion. Its system goes back to normal. This is where we differ. We have these conscious thinking minds that even once whatever the imminent threat was, whatever that stress, the thing that caused the stress in the first place was, that can actually be gone. But we continue to propagate those stress hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, by thinking about what happened. And then we're keeping those hormones flooding through our bodies. And we're actually projecting that fear, the memory, focusing on the memory and projecting it into the future. And this is how we end up living in that state of stress over the course of minutes, days, hours, weeks, whatever the case may be. So this is why I say I really believe that most people are living in a perpetual state of stress. And if you were to pause and ask yourself for a moment, how does everyday stress show up in your life? How does it play out? Just take a moment and think about that for yourself. Are you impatient or critical of yourself or with others? Do you have physical symptoms of it? Like, do you get rashes or heartburn, or have irregular elimination, or have those looping thoughts that feel like they're running around? God forbid you wake up during the night. It's so hard to get back to sleep. How does this show up for you in your life? Again, the awareness of it can ideally, you get to learn for that to just be a little sign like, hey, look here, so that you can bring your awareness to it. So let's talk about that. Your power actually lies in your awareness. As you can begin to notice the feeling the thoughts, what's happening when you're feeling stressed, bringing presence to that, and just allowing that just for 90 seconds, believe it or not, allows for those stress chemicals to leave your system. Isn't that crazy? Let me say that again. Those stress chemicals that were released into your system based on the perceived threat, whatever happened, that triggering thing that happened, whether it was big or small, it takes 90 seconds for those chemicals to leave your system. So did you know that? I feel like that was like one of the biggest things for me when I learned that. Like, I feel like knowing that they can leave in 90 seconds and knowing that I have the ability to allow them to leave is so, so huge for me. So let's talk about how, because you're probably like, yeah, that sounds nice, but how? The how is your breath. So when you are aware that something stressful is going on, somebody said something or whatever the case may be, when you become aware that you're experiencing stress, the very first thing, the most important piece, as I just said, is your awareness. This is necessary. This is so important because without that awareness, nothing can change. But with that awareness, you then have a choice. It's like a crossroads. You get to choose. With it, you have a choice of taking action to actually feel better. By consciously using your breath or focusing your attention on your breath for just 90 seconds, those stress chemicals can flood right back out of your system. They came in like this, and they can leave in just 90 seconds. When you're focusing on your breath and not engaging with the story, the memory, the thoughts around what happened, just for that 90 seconds, this actually activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which kicks off a natural relaxation response in your body. And don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to say then all of a sudden you're happy that this thing happened. No. That's not what this is about. This is about getting your system, your body, the chemicals within your body and your mind, to be able to come back here to this present moment, not getting looping around with what happened in the thoughts and perpetuating more of those stress chemicals. This is about being able to release those chemicals from your system so that clarity of thought and decision making can actually return. And with that, you get to respond. You get to choose how you want to respond to this situation. Doesn't mean you like what happened. But you get to choose how to respond in a way that actually gives you the best outcome possible given the circumstances. This is key. Responding rather than reacting. How many times do you have even more stuff to clean up afterward because you reacted to the situation? Yeah, this is huge. Because breath work is so quick, you can actually utilize this both proactively as well as reactively. And what I mean by that is proactively means like when you're not already triggered and stressed by something, you can choose to wire in this response, that this feeling of safety, letting your body know that now is a perfect time to go ahead and digest or restore or whatever it needs to do, because your body is wise and knows what it needs. Using your breath proactively just reinforces that. Yep, safe. Even though there's chaos going on around here, I'm safe. Go ahead and do that. Reactively is when something does happen and you're like, bam, you feel that stress, those chemicals kicking in. Focusing your breath on your breath in those circumstances, then again allows those stress chemicals to leave. So we're going to do a specific breathing exercise together, but know that anytime your exhalation is longer than your inhalation, you're inviting that relaxation response in your body. You're inviting that parasympathetic nervous system can kick on, and that your body can go back into its restoration, whatever it needs to do for your health and well-being. So we'll do a specific breathing exercise, but again, no, anytime your exhale is longer than your inhale, you're inviting that response. So again, we're going to actually do a breathing exercise together though, so you have a specific one that you can use either proactively or reactively. First, this is the first thing that I teach absolutely every coaching client that I have, because it is so powerful. Our breath is with us all the time. It's with us all the time, and it's so influential in how we feel, and how we feel is absolutely everything, because it's how we're creating in our lives. So I chose this particular breathing exercise that we're going to do because it's simple enough that you could actually do it kind of subtly in the midst of, say, a heated discussion or a negotiation or something like that that might be stressful. But it can also be done anytime, as I was saying, proactively or reactively. When you are doing some breath work, the first thing I want you to do, if you're new to this, is just take your hands and put them around your rib cage toward the top, like if you were wearing a bra, kind of like where that would be located. And I want you to go ahead and just take a slow breath in through your nose. And I want you to see if you notice expansion outward. It seems like we expect that when we take a big breath, it's an upward motion, which makes sense to a degree, of course, because our lungs are up here. But really, you want to be noticing expansion outward too. So go ahead and just play around with that for a moment, just putting your hands on, like, around your rib cage, and just take a few breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and just see what you notice. Okay, are you noticing that your ribs are expanding outward a little bit? It's okay if you're noticing upward movement as well, but you just want to make sure that you're getting a full enough breath that your rib cage is actually expanding outward as well. Okay, so now that you have that, the breathing technique that we're going to use today is called Ujjayi, and it's really simple. I like to imagine like I'm fogging a mirror. So we're going to be breathing in through the nose and then exhaling through the mouth. And when you're first learning this, if you're new to this, it can be actually really helpful to go ahead and put your hand right up to your face, like an inch or two away from your mouth. And as you're exhaling, I'm going to demonstrate first, and then you can try it. As you're exhaling, just ask yourself, like, do I feel like I would be fogging up a mirror that's this close? And that can help with getting the constriction of the back of your throat, as you'll see in just a moment. That's part of this breath that's going to be inviting that relaxation response. So again, I'm going to breathe in slowly through my nose, and then I'm going to breathe out, exhale even more slowly through my mouth. So let's go ahead. You can watch me do it first, and then we'll try it together. So I'm going to breathe in through my nose. Oh, and if I'm doing this proactively, I like to close my eyes just so I'm taking in less stimulation. So I'm going to do that too. Because you hear that, I'm making like an ocean sound, Darth Vader sound, some people call it, with my throat, with my mouth as I'm exhaling. And I can feel on my hand, because I have my hand up just for demonstration purposes right now, I can feel like if this was a mirror, I would be making this all foggy right now. So let's try it together. If you want, go ahead and put your hand right up to your face, an inch or two away from your mouth. And go ahead and close your eyes if you want, or if you feel like you want to watch, you can, either way. But when you can, close your eyes so that you're taking in less stimulation and you're able to go inward more easily. And for a moment, let's just notice your natural breath. Just drawing your attention to your natural breath in your chest. Okay, and when you feel ready, go ahead and take a slow breath in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth with a inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. You can let your hand rest down if you feel like you've got that motion in your throat. Let's do one more. And just returning your attention to your natural breath, or taking a deep breath, whatever feels right for you. And just taking a moment to notice how you feel. Just with curiosity, not looking for anything in particular. Just taking a moment to notice what you notice. Okay. So yeah, I don't know about you, but we did maybe 5 or 6 rounds of inhale and exhale. And about the 4th one, I felt my shoulders relax down. I've been doing this for years at this point, and it's just as powerful every single time. I immediately could feel myself relaxing. And of course, I'm practiced at this. So if that didn't happen for you, no worries. But it can happen that quickly. This is the influence of your breath. Your breath is with you all the time. So I want you to take note of that. If that felt good in any way, if you feel the slightest bit more calm, if you feel the slightest bit more clarity in your head, or whatever the case may be, allow that to be just some data that you're gathering about ways in which you can invite that you can feel more calm, more clarity, whatever the case may be. As you use your awareness to catch yourself in stress and breathe and stay present here without engaging with the thoughts, and even if there are circumstances that you don't like or you would not have chosen, you literally, each time you do this, you are literally rewiring your brain to respond to stress in a way that does serve you, in a way that is aligned with health and well-being. Literally, each time, I'm going to say that again, each time you catch yourself in stress, use your awareness to notice, I'm feeling stressed, whatever you want to call it. And you choose to focus on your breath and let those stress chemicals leave your system, you are literally rewiring your brain. You're creating new neural networks, new connections in your brain that say, oh, this is how we respond to stress. I can say that from my own experience. Sometimes nowadays, how I first become aware that I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed, for example, is I'll notice I took a huge breath and I'll be like, what was that about? Oh, yes, I am feeling overwhelmed. Maybe it's time to take a breath and take a little break. Do you see how it can be that simple? It's crazy. This is how powerful you literally are. This is how simple it can literally be. Okay, so remember that exercise at the beginning where we were demonstrating the power of your mind using your finger and when you turned and all of that? Now we're going to build upon the physiological response that was just triggered by that breathing exercise. Oh, I should have switched to this. So sorry, each time you catch yourself in stress, I just talked about that. So we're going to move now into that guided visualization. With this, we are literally inviting your mind and body to feel safe and for your immune system to function optimally as a result, so you can stay in that constant state of health, well-being, restoration, whatever your body needs, again. So I'm going to guide you in consciously activating the power of your mind to enhance your overall well-being. And this will enable you to achieve whatever it is that you are looking to create in your life. So having those resources not tied up in stress and not tied up in waiting until they get their turn to restore or whatever the case may be, by creating that constant or perpetual state, returning to that state of restoration, you then get to keep your resources for actually creating what you want. And so I'm going to guide you in a visualization to actually activate that within your mind right now, okay? The thing is, where you place your attention is where your energy flows. And wherever your energy flows is what becomes your future. Whatever is in your mind is what your brain is going to create circuitry for. Your body does not know the difference I know this sounds crazy, but your body literally does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. So by focusing on what you do want and sending your energy toward what you do want with your thoughts, you are literally creating new neural circuitry that is aligned with creating what you want in your life. It is that simple. The question becomes, what are the thoughts that you're wiring in? Do you want to wire in, I know this sounds silly, but thoughts based in stress and the things that happened in the past that you didn't like? Or do you want to wire in the future that you actually desire? It becomes this simple. What we focus on is creating what we are experiencing in our lives. In my work, I teach people how to create the life that they actually desire with intention rather than by some conscious or even unconscious worries based upon what happened in the past, etc. So for today, that's what I want to do with you. I want to guide you in an activation that will give you a taste of your power. And so to do this, your power to do this, each time you do this, again, you are literally training your brain. You're literally training your brain, your physical biology to change, to align with health, well-being, whatever it is that you are focusing your attention on. So let's go ahead. Let's do it. Let's get at it right now. It may sound simple, but you are that powerful. So I want to show you right now. I'm going to have you go ahead and close your eyes again. Let's start with another couple of slow, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. And as you continue breathing in that pattern, I'd like you to go ahead and focus your attention on the space of your heart, on your breath coming in and out of your chest. On your next inhale, go ahead and count to see how long that is. And on your exhale, make your exhale twice as long. So if your inhale was 4, make your exhale 8. Just keeping your attention on the space of your chest and your heart. On your next inhalation, I'd like you to go ahead and envision light, golden light, coming straight into your heart on your inhale. And on your exhale, as you exhale, begin to push that light out from your heart into your body, seeing your body, visualizing your body lighting up. Golden light on the inhale, straight into the heart, and on the exhale, pushing it out to every cell of your being. Inhaling the golden light straight into your heart. And this time when you exhale, go ahead and push it out beyond your body, into the energy field around your body, and see it form like a solid golden egg or shield around your body. Like you're sitting in a golden bubble. And as you sit here within this bubble, I'd like you to go ahead and call to mind something for which you feel grateful. It could be absolutely anything. Just bring that into your mind's eye and feel the gratitude for the existence of that thing. It could be anything. Ice cream, a smile, sunshine, absolutely anything. Just feeling the gratitude for that, the existence of that. And then I'd like you to call to mind something that your heart desires. It could be a specific goal that you've set for yourself or something you've been working on for the last few days or maybe even weeks or months or years. Just bring that to mind. And like you've got a movie screen in your forehead, I want you to go ahead and envision what it'll be like when you have that thing, when that experience is manifest in your life, that thing you're working toward. Just feeling yourself having that. What will it be like? What choices will you be making when that is already manifest, when it's part of your life already? What behaviors will you be demonstrating? What experiences await you? And most importantly, how does it feel? Allow yourself to feel that right now. Mentally living in that experience right now. Feeling it. Not worrying about how it'll happen or when. Just feeling right now how you'll feel when it has already occurred. And then setting it free. Letting it go. Drawing your attention now back to that golden egg, that bubble you're sitting in, that shield around you. And as you inhale, notice that bubble beginning to get a little smaller on each inhale and exhale. Drawing a little closer and a little closer until it's hovering before you like a little golden beam of light. And we're just straight into your heart. Or you can call upon it anytime you need it. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just noticing how you feel. Whenever you feel ready, going ahead and opening your eyes. Just noticing how you feel. You can use this power of your mind and your body together to create absolutely anything you desire. This is your innate ability. You just need to learn how to practice it more and actually use it to your advantage. You can create absolutely anything you want in your life. So let's take a moment to review what we've covered today. So we talked about, and hopefully now you have a high level understanding of what's actually happening when you're stressed. Most of us are living in a survival mode on a perpetual basis, and that stress causes the body to go into a fight or flight response where your resources are being sent out to your limbs so that you can fight, flee, or hide, and they're not available for restoration, for growth, etc. But you have the ability to easily change this through your awareness, bringing your awareness to that, noticing when you're experiencing that. Your breath is your number one tool. It's the number one thing you can do. Bring your attention to your breath when you notice that you're feeling stressed. Using your breath consciously, whether it's that Ujjayi breath breathing exercise we tried together, or simply breathing in and exhaling slowly for 90 seconds. That allows those stress chemicals to wash back out of your system, with which returns the ability to think clearly and make decisions that will actually align with what you actually desire for life to look and feel like. Again, anytime your exhale is longer than your inhale, you're inviting that relaxation response in your body. By focusing on what you actually do desire, you are creating the neural circuitry to have that become real in your life. Each time you do this, you are literally creating new neurons in your brain. You're creating the physiology that's needed for your body for you to be able to create the future that you desire, simply by focusing on that. We're so caught up in what we don't want and the memories of what hasn't worked out, etc. By shifting that into focusing on what we do want, we have tremendous power. Our neurons and our brains are so powerful, they can literally create whatever it is that we want. Not to mention, also, each time you catch yourself in stress and you actually choose to focus on your breath, you're starting to wire that in as how you respond in stressful situations, and it will become the habit. Your body will learn that this is how we deal with stress so that you don't have to be the victim of it any longer. It may sound simple, and that's because it really is. Your thoughts and beliefs are that powerful, and you hold that innate power in your hands, in your body, in your mind, every moment of every single day. So before we conclude, we're all running like 1,000 different directions, right? So I want to take a moment to invite you to take just a moment to jot a few things down. First, I'd like you to just take a moment to jot down the top 3 breakthroughs or insights, whatever you want to call them, that you've had from our time together today. That could be absolutely anything, but something that spoke to you. Top 3 things breakthroughs or insights that you learned from our time together today. Go ahead and jot those down now. Okay. Yeah, the intention of this, the reason we're doing this is for you to be able to set the intention of actually taking action on what you've learned. Okay, so the next thing is to jot down the top 3 action items to put those breakthroughs or insights into motion in your life. What can you do from here on out, later today, tomorrow morning when you wake up, whatever the case may be, to actually put those insights into action in your life? Just taking a moment to think that through just a little bit while you're here right now. Just jotting that down. Okay, the third is to note what words, in your words that are authentic to you, what words can help you get back to this current action state of mind. So where you're like, wow, now that I realize what's actually going on when I feel stressed, I really want to and I want to do that because, or whatever it is for you, what words are authentic to you? What are your reasons? How is this showing up in your life? And what do you want to be different? Taking a moment to jot down a few words that will be, when you look back on this, you'll be able to get you back to this current action state of mind. It can actually be helpful to think through, like, what pain will you feel if you don't take that action? That can be helpful too. So maybe take a moment to think about that, jot something down if it resonates. If I keep going in the way that I am, then what will happen? Jotting that down so that sometimes some of us are drawn by pleasure, others by pain, motivated by pleasure or pain. So just knowing yourself and what works for you. And then any other notes that you have, anything else that spoke to you, anything you don't want to forget, you may want to take a moment to notice or to note people or places or times of day that tend to be more triggering for you, or when you tend to experience stress. So again, you can be building that awareness of when it's happening, so that, again, the awareness brings you to that fork in the road where you get to choose to take action. Again, in this case, by focusing on your breath, letting those stress chemicals leave. The first step is awareness, knowing that you're actually feeling that way so you can do something differently. So maybe jotting down a few things about people or situations or times of day or when that shows up for you. Okay, I wanted to share with you that if what we've talked about for the last 45 minutes here has really spoken to you, and you feel like this resonates and is something you want to learn to put into action in your life in a more thorough or detailed way, I have a group coaching program that's going to be starting later this month. It's taking place on Thursdays from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, starting on January 27th. If you're interested in learning more about that, you can head to the group coaching section of the coaching page on KindNest website, which is listed here, kind-nest.com/coaching. All right, so I'd like to conclude by saying thank you for choosing to spend these last 45 minutes with me. Thank you for being here and showing up for yourself so that you can learn how to put some of these tools and practices into work in your life to reduce the impact of the stress that you experience and be able to create more of what you do want. I want you to know you can reach out to me at any time. My phone number is listed here, as well as my email address. You can follow KindNest on Facebook or Instagram at KindNest Empowers. Feel free to check out what we've got going on the website. And otherwise, just want to say thank you so much for being here. I hope that, if nothing else, this has given you a little taste of how powerful you are in being able to influence how you feel moment to moment, which is leading to what you're creating in your life, moment to moment, day to day, year to year. So thank you for taking that time. I wish you all the best luck in implementing this, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks so much.